Welcome to CT-PAT Security Services Truck Driver Training. This training is intended for drivers who haul flatbed trailers. Trucking is the most vulnerable link in any supply chain. This is because during this transportation step, the cargo is in the custody of a single person, the driver, and many potential threats exist there. Among the threats faced by drivers is that they may be threatened by criminals or may have their families threatened by criminals. Criminals may also try to bribe a driver. Drivers themselves may be hijacked, or in some cases, drivers may be criminals themselves or be a part of a criminal conspiracy. To reduce the possibility of potential threats, drivers must be screened to ensure that they do not have a criminal background. Drivers should also travel in convoys whenever possible. Drivers should not be allowed to select their own route. Instead, the route should be assigned by company management or dispatchers. Also, assigned routes should not be given to the driver in advance. Instead, they should be given to the driver immediately before departure. Drivers should not be allowed to deviate from assigned routes. When possible, geofencing or some form of GPS tracking should be utilized to verify that the driver has not exceeded the route limits. If a driver is forced to deviate from an assigned route due to weather, traffic, an accident, or another unforeseen incident, the driver must be required to notify the dispatcher of the route change. Drivers should not be allowed to make unauthorized stops. Arrival destination should be provided with an estimated time that the truck will arrive. Significantly late arrivals must be investigated and then reported unless a reasonable explanation can be found. Drivers who are significantly delayed due to traffic, weather, breakdowns, route changes, or anything else must report the delay to the dispatcher and to the arrival destination. Drivers should inspect their conveyance, which is the tractor and the trailer, prior to cargo being loaded. The inspection should be documented using a checklist. Drivers should also inspect their conveyance at the last stop before crossing an international border. This inspection should also be documented using a checklist. The conveyance inspection is intended to help identify hidden compartments or areas of the conveyance that may have been manipulated or tampered with. The 17-point conveyor inspection should include an examination of the bumpers, the engine compartment, the tires, and the floor of the cab. The fuel tank should be inspected, and the cab should be inspected to include the sleeping compartment. The air tanks should also be inspected. The drive shafts must be inspected, along with the fifth wheel area. Should also inspect the outside undercarriage of the conveyance. The fairing and roof must be inspected along with the battery compartment. And finally, you must conduct a visual inspection of the trailer before it is loaded. The tractor cab should always be kept locked when it's not occupied. During scheduled stops for meals, refueling, and rest, the tractor cabs must be kept locked, and the conveyance must be parked in such a manner so as to discourage theft, illegal entry, or tampering. During scheduled stops, conveyances should be parked in a well-lighted area and, when possible, within the driver's line of sight. Scheduled stops should be kept to an absolute minimum. Overnight stops should be avoided whenever possible. Drivers must always report any suspicious circumstances or suspected tampering immediately upon discovery. Upon discovering suspicious circumstances or tampering, the drivers should immediately report the discovery to the dispatcher and to the destination.